What's up, sports bettors? Alex here, and what we're going to be doing is going through the best player prop bets of the day. So we're on the OddsJam Positive EV screen, mathematically profitable bets. We're going to lock in a couple. You can see there's some NBA and early hockey player prop lines out. And the first bet we're going to go with is Barzal over 0.5 assists. So you can see there is pretty good value on Caesars. You can get plus 140 on Barzal over 0.5 assists. The OddsJam Perfect line, Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook out there, they're only giving you plus 111. So we're getting 29 cents of improvement from the current line on Pinnacle. So this seems like a great first bet to lock in. You can see that the profit margin is 6.07%. So the market on Pinnacle is plus 111, minus 149. So if we throw that in to the most important calculator on OddsJam, a zero vig odds calculator, right? How every sportsbook makes money is they're charging the vig, they're charging juice. So if we want to remove the juice to get an indication of the fair win probability for a bet, we put the market from Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, into a zero vig odds calculator, right? So Pinnacle was giving us plus 111 on Barzal over 0.5 assists. They were minus 149 on Barzal under 0.5 assists, which means once you remove the juice, the fair line on Barzal to have an assist is plus 126. On Caesars, we're getting plus 140, so our bet is positive EV. Our bet has a mathematical profit margin. So long story short, the model on Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest sportsbook out there, they're spitting out a probability. Nobody knows the future in sports betting. Everything's about implied probability. So Pinnacle's model is spitting out that Barzal has a 44.2% chance of recording a goal, right? Which implies plus 126, fair line, zero juice line, true odds, whatever you want to call it. And we're getting plus 140, right? So Pinnacle, this is their fair odds. Then they juice their market to plus 111, minus 149. We're able to get plus 140 on Caesars. So this is a positive EV bet. So we'll go over, we'll try to navigate quickly. Great lines don't last forever. And we'll lock in this NHL player prop. Total points, so we want total assists, and we want to go to player props, and we're going to lock in this NHL prop bet. So we want to go to Barzal. Where is it? Right here. Over 0.5 goals, plus 140. This is the first bet we'll lock in. You can see I already have 12 bets open on Caesars, so this makes 13. And then I'm going to add this bet to my bet tracker. So the OddsJam bet tracker is really cool. You can just click a plus button from any betting tool available to add a bet to your bet tracker. So I hit that plus button. Now you can see a green check mark shows up, which indicates that I added this bet to my bet tracker. So you can see, in this little test account I have for OddsJam, we're beating the closing line 70% of the time, 223 in profit on the bets placed during some of these videos or YouTube shorts, whatever, with an 80% ROI. So you're not always going to be able to beat the closing line as a sports bettor, but what you want to see is just more green than red in your bet tracker. Green indicates that you beat the closing line. So, on March 14th, I bet on Giannis over 29.5 points, plus 100 odds on WinBet. This line closed minus 116 on Pinnacle using the no vig calculation, the fair, true odds, whatever you want to call it. So we beat the closing line. So this is green, right? Whereas Clippers first half money line, we didn't beat the closing line here. So we added that bet to our bet tracker. Right here, we can see another NHL bet just popped up. Wild -2. The sports betting market is dynamic, right? Bets are always coming, sharp actions coming in, lines are moving around. I mean, just like you think about the stock market, the price of GameStop, maybe 5 minutes or maybe $5 1 second. 2 minutes later, it may be, $7 and then $9 and then $11 and then it may be back down to $6. It's very similar in sports betting. As players get injured, as weather changes, as sharp action comes in, as lineups come out, right? Everything is changing around. So you can see here, there's only 14 cents in market width on Wild -2. So this is an insane value bet. So if we just go in here, you can see, Wild minus 1.5 is now favored, and we're able to get Wild -2 plus 130. This is an ARB to Pinnacle, right? This is 19 cents of improvement to the sharpest sportsbook out there. So let's hit this bet. Let's add it to our bet tracker. So you can see the best odds for any given wager are always highlighted in green on OddsJam. So we'll add this bet to our bet tracker. Like, for example, right here, the best line you can get on Wild minus 1.5 is on FanDuel minus 106, right? You should always be getting the best odds as a sports bettor. Even if you're not paying for OddsJam, right? If you're placing bets at minus 115 on DraftKings, when there's another sportsbook in your state, FanDuel, giving you minus 106, you're not going to be profitable in the long run, right? Because you're getting awful prices. So I hit this bet, I added it to my bet tracker, and we have our second NHL bet. Again, you'll also see this bet, right, on the OddsJam. Let's also hit it on FanDuel, Wild minus 1.5. Wild minus 1.5. So you can see right here, we have an ARB. Lines are clearly ripping towards the Wild. I don't know if sharp action's coming in, a Flyers player is injured. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just looking at real-time market data to inform my betting decisions. So let's see how much FanDuel gives me. I'll try to bet $500 on Wild minus 1.5, minus 106 odds. You can see FanDuel right here. They're like, yo, you've made way too much money off us. We're only going to give you 132.55. So whatever. I'll hit that too. Wild minus 1.5, 132.55. So again, this bet's also on the Arbitrage page, right? What is Arbitrage? So Arbitrage, there we go. Let's go back to New York. I'm currently in New York. So let's go back to New York. Whenever you have an arbitrage bet, like we have an arbitrage bet right here, between Pinnacle and FanDuel, you can get Flyers plus 1.5, plus 111, and Wild minus 1.5, minus 106, right? So essentially, you can pull up an arbitrage calculator right here. If we had money in both of these accounts, we could place a bet on Flyers plus 1.5 on Pinnacle, Wild minus 1.5 at minus 106 on FanDuel, and we could earn a risk-free profit, right, of 1%. Now, if this seems like a small number, you have to remember, this game is today, right? This game starts in 13 hours, 12 hours, right? So we're getting a risk-free return. The return of a 10-year bond is like whatever. It's barely above this. And we're getting this risk-free profit, risk-free, in, whatever this is, like 13 hours or 15 hours by the time this game ends. So you're making risk-free profits on a daily basis and watching those returns stack up and up and up. Compound, compound, compound. What this also means is whenever you have an ARB, right, you can make risk-free money by betting equal and opposite outcomes, arbitrage betting on two sports books. You know that one of these bets has to be mathematically profitable, right? There can't be the opportunity to make risk-free money if there's an arbitrage bet and there's not a positive EV, mathematically profitable bet, right? So we know one of these bets has to be good. Pinnacle's the sharpest sportsbook in the world, so we know that this minus 106 is a positive EV, mathematically profitable bet. And you can see the value's pretty clear. Minus 106 here, it's minus 122 here, minus 118 here, minus 120 here. So all we're doing is using OddsJam, letting OddsJam scan all these alternate lines, all these player props. OddsJam is processing millions of odds every minute to try to find you the select few interesting betting opportunities that are positive EV. So the last thing we'll lock in is an NBA player prop. We can see Cade Cunningham over 33.5 points plus rebounds plus assists, also known as PRAs, is minus 104 on FanDuel. The OddsJam perfect line Pinnacle has this. You can see FanDuel already moved their odds to minus 110 on this bet. They're like, dang, that was a really good price Alex got. So they moved their odds down. So let's go to this Pistons game. And then we want to go to player combos right here. We want to go to points plus rebounds plus assists. Cade Cunningham over 33.5. Try to bet 500. Again, FanDuel's like, yo, you've made too much money off us. We're giving you 103.95. And we'll lock in this NBA player prop bet for today. So we have 4 bets for today. I added them all to my bet tracker so we can go into my bet tracker and check them out. So that is not what I bet. So I need to delete this from my bet tracker. And then what I can do is go back to the positive EV page, and I want to go to Cade Cunningham. I bet the over, not the under. So we bet 103.95 on this. And now I have 3 bets in my bet tracker. They'll automatically grade as wins or losses, right? You can see OddsJam automatically grades your bets as wins or losses, which is really cool because it allows you to see your profit over time, profit by sport, profit by sportsbook, all that type of stuff, right? So we locked in 4 plus EV bets, positive EV bets for today, all from OddsJam. And we have an NBA player prop, 2 bets on the Wild Flyers game, and an NHL prop bet on Barzal over 0.5 assists. Let's make some frickin' money tonight.